I would honestly love to know, what does being an American mean to you? Because to me, being an American is my culture. It has nothing to do with anything else. It is something that I am born into, that we are all born into in the United States of America, because every state here is united. It's America, it's American culture. American culture is messy and bloody, just like every other history that we have ever learned, whether that's in school, whether that is the internet, whether that is talking to people in our communities and traveling abroad and going to different countries. Every single country, every single place around the world has some type of messy and bloody history. However, their culture is made up of many, many, many different influences, many different peoples, many different religions, many different philosophies, theologies. It is so convoluted, complex, that you should be proud of the culture that you are living in as your big banner. This banner that wraps you up in warmth, and you could be very proud of your culture. And then if you happen to be mixed, you could be even super proud of your subcultures underneath your main cultures. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Discord Notes Volume 8, where I'm going to be getting into the topic of my culture is American, because I cannot believe that I was met with some rude, nasty, horrible, and racist comments on one of my videos over at the Square Circle Podcast. And we're going to be talking about it today. We're going to go in depth into what does culture actually mean, and should you allow people to bully you, to have you only speak on your culture, when in reality, most of us, America and American is what we know best. Unless you immigrated here legally from a different country, you still have your culture intact from that country that you are leaving to come to the United States legally and try to live with us and assimilate with us, but do not lose where you came from and your roots. Everybody here in America has become Americanized. Being American also means that you get to have freedoms that other people are jealous about, and they want to take that away from us. Now, I'm not trying to be divisive here, but that is basically what it looks like on the surface. It's probably way more complicated, way more stuff, but we're not getting into that. It's just the idea of we have way more freedoms than most people around the world. If you're not watching in real time, then I don't know. Stop living under a rock. And if this topic is going to make you feel uncomfortable, you have the option of not listening and returning at a later date when you feel you are up to listening to this podcast episode talking about American culture. Here on Discord Notes, it's not about telling you what you already want to hear. It is about challenging some of the questions that are out there, challenging some of the perspectives that are out there, and challenging the misinformation that is out there. It could be a combination of all three, or just individual topics, or just individual thoughts. But Discord Notes will not be telling you what you want to hear, rather than what you need to hear, and any kind of perspectives that I can give on certain topics, so you can think for yourself, think freely, think above the box or outside the box, and just do more research, talk to more people. Do not stay in your bubble. Do not stay in your echo chamber, because that does not allow you to grow as a human being, a productive member of society, whatever that is that you choose. And it doesn't allow you to grow spiritually, and it doesn't allow you to grow physically, and it really doesn't allow you to grow mentally if you stay within the same talking points and the same echo chambers and all of that. Discord Notes is messy, unapologetic. There is no algorithm that is controlling us, and these are just my unfiltered thoughts. As always, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not here to be like, you better agree with me or else. I'm not like that. You can listen, you can share, you can comment. If you comment, leave it civil. But again, if this makes you feel uncomfortable, the door will always be ajar for you. But other than that, we're going to continue. Discord Notes is on patreon.com/Marie Shadows. Starting today and ending on October 11th, 2025 at 9 p.m., I am running a special 50% discount on the only one tier that I have on patreon.com/Marie Shadows. So instead of paying $9.99 a month for the first month, you be paying $5.99 a month because it's 50% off. And you get to have access to the back catalog of Discord Notes as well, because this is Discord Notes Volume 8. So head over to patreon.com/Marie Shadows. The special code for this unfiltered pass of a discount is DNP001. And I also made a second YouTube channel called Discord Notes Podcast, just so that way podcast could be in the SEO and it could be found. But that is the second channel aside from the Square Circle Podcast. If any of my wrestling fans are listening to me, I apologize that I have not talking to you guys directly about the direction that I'm going in, but you could probably put two and two together, but we will speak soon. But if you are one of my wrestling fans from the wrestling side of things and you want to still follow me and hear my thoughts, thank you so much. If you just want to hear wrestling, I understand. Thank you again so much. We'll see each other either way on this journey. And I'm just so proud and thankful for creating a community as such. But don't worry, wrestling is still my baby and we'll still get back to talking about wrestling. There are just some other thoughts that I want to get out and not have them bottle up inside of me. Okay, let's get back to the topic of talking about the really horrible comments and explaining how America is my culture, even if I am Puerto Rican and Italian. So on September 27, 2025, I decided to drop a video talking about the update that was given to us on the Raja Jackson situation. Now, for those of you that do not keep up with professional wrestling, let me give you the cliff notes of what happened in this situation. As you know, Raja Jackson is a MMA fighter. He's training as an MMA fighter, and he is the son to Rampage Jackson, and he was at a wrestling event backstage, Knox Pro Wrestling. Raja Jackson was laughing with everybody, having a good time, and Psycho Stu enters into the having a good time portion and ends up taking a beer can and smashing it on the side of the head of Raja Jackson. Now, just to reiterate, you cannot gimmick a beer can, and it is professional wrestling. All this stuff happens. In the world of wrestling, things happen. So Raja Jackson is not selling it, aka when we say selling it, meaning to act like it hurt and become an actor because of the action that happened. He got hit with a can, so he should be cradling his head. He should be selling it. And one Psycho Stu was like, hey, you're not going to sell it? Like, what's going on here? Raja Jackson looked like he was really going to just beat up the dude right there and then by stepping up to him. Luckily, people got in between them. And then once Psycho Stu realized that Raja Jackson was not part of the roster and was not one of the boys, he apologized to Raja Jackson profusely, to the point of Psycho Stu essentially being like, oh shit, I fucked up. And he knew he fucked up. So he apologizes. Raja accepts the apology. It depends on who's looking at the live stream, because all this was live stream on kickstreaming.com. And so you see them shake hands, but this is where everything went downhill, where the co-owner of Knox Pro was like, yeah, we're going to have a little mini segment so you get your receipt back. And AJ Mana telling Raja Jackson what a receipt is. And then Raja Jackson's chat was hyping him up, brought him back to his anger. And even his dad, Rampage Jackson, calls him up to be like, hey man, I just saw what happened, or I got told what happened. Do you want me to send backup? And Raja is like, no, I got it. I can handle it. And then the chat from Raja's stream again was egging him on. And then when Raja went into the ring to slam Psycho Stu and hit him 20 to 22 times, busting up his face, making him lose teeth, and Raja just walks out with blood on his shirt and leaves the venue. And then the police investigation happens, and there is a bail set out at $50,000. And finally, after the police investigation got all their stuff, they went to the judge. The judge was like, okay, I'm going to issue a warrant. They went to Raja Jackson's house with the warrant to arrest him. They arrested him, and some hours later, here comes Rampage Jackson after saying that he wants his son to learn what it's like to be in jail for a couple of days so he can understand the magnitude of his choices. Rampage comes right in and decides to pay $50,000 for his son's bail. So that means that Raja Jackson got a get out of jail free card. It may be temporary because he would still have to go to court eventually, but for the time being, he's not spending any time in jail, even when the police officers are like, hey, we got a warrant. No, his dad came in, spent that $50K because his dad knew that at some point Raja was going to do some fucked up shit, and he bailed him out. So that is me catching you guys up to speed. That was discussed between the first podcast I talked about this situation. This is the third podcast episode. The second one was an in-between of like a wrestling company wanted to get some clout. And I was like, yo, that's really bad because it's social media, and eventually Congress is going to make laws that are not going to be sitting well with content creators and real life streamers and stuff if everyone continues to act a fool. If you continue to act a fool on social media and try to get clout and try to get on the algorithm, like nobody really wants to tackle that kind of conversation, even in Congress. And it is so damn annoying. Anyway, so the in-between podcast is really not that important. My first podcast and this third podcast is important. So in the third podcast, I talk about how money is money. It does not matter if you are white, black, Chinese, Hispanic, any other race that you want to put in this conversation. It does not matter. Money will change hands whether your hands are clean, dirty, or bloody, because money is money. Money is a resource. So I decided to tackle one of the talking points that a lot of people say, that if you are white and you are rich, that you're able to buy your freedoms no matter what, and that the system is essentially rigged against black people in the black community. And it's like every system is rigged against people in general. It might just be way too much of a coincidence that it's only one shade of people or one shade of a community that gets targeted like this. But there are many other people that will pay out of pocket for things that other people get a free ride for. And they don't constantly complain about that. They do what is needed and they just go with it. They don't think that everything is against them. Like I said, sometimes a big coincidence could have you thinking in a different way. But let's look at this differently. Here in New York City, because I am a native New Yorker, on the subway, a lady was being assaulted by a black man, a homeless black man. And here comes a white man who's a Navy SEAL, and I forget their name, but you probably heard this situation before. And he restrains the homeless man from not beating up on the woman. And what did New York City do? New York City put to trial and arrested the white man for saving a lady on the subway, rather than being like, hey, homeless man, You should not be doing that. That is wrong. Wrong is wrong. If you go and assault somebody, that is wrong. That dude was just being a vigilante. But did he get bail? No. New York City did not give the white man who decided to save the lady from being brutally hurt, he did not get bail. But in the case of Raja Jackson, who damn near ended a career and almost the life of Psycho Stu, ends up getting a bail. So what is different? Let me know in the comments below what is different between those two situations where both of them could have ended super, super badly and we could have had funerals on our hand. Why in 2025 are we rewarding the bad behavior from illegals to homeless people to just one community in general that wants to act up for no good reason? Why are we suddenly saying that what they're doing is right when in reality it is wrong? And then when we call it out, people want to say all kinds of names in the book to us, throw the book at us, and basically say that we should focus on our own culture when it's happening all around us. Everything that is happening is part of American culture, from the way that we consume our entertainment, from the way that the media controls how you think, how you dress, how you walk, how you talk. And definitely social media platforms are not helping in this conversation, because you have TikTok where people can say whatever the hell they want and they get no repercussions. But then again, there is freedom of speech, but there should be freedom of speech to an extent, because you can't keep saying misinformation and you can't keep lying on your platform, even when you get fact checked, like actual fact check, not like opinion based, because that's different. When you get actual fact checked, that like you should stop spreading misinformation. So how does this tie into my culture is American? Well, according to the comments that were left on the video about me talking about Raja getting bailed out, Big Up MCD, which is the name of his on YouTube, or aka Marcel, he has his actual name on his YouTube channel, decided to leave some nasty comments such as, "You're joking about a young black man whose freedom is on the line. Go joke about Charlie Kirk, you racist." Now, why did he have to say all this? What freedom is on the line when Raja Jackson knew he fucked up? And Rampage even was like, yo, he fucked up. And luckily, Psycho Stu is alive. You know, again, we are rewarding bad behavior and bad impulse control. Why are we rewarding it just because he's a black man? Again, two wrongs don't make a right. And just because you are from a specific community does not mean that you get a slap on the wrist. We have to have some type of equal playing field of like, wrong is wrong. And we know that wrong is wrong. If we teach our children back in the day that when they become like 5, 6, 7, you're teaching them that this is wrong and this is right. And if they understand right versus wrong, we should be applying it and not just allowing people to get away with things just because they are a particular skin color. Martin Luther King said to be judged by the character of your content, to be judged by you and your actions. It has nothing to do with what color you are, because every one of us makes mistakes. Every one of us fucks up. And every one of us has some type of past where we're like, please forgive us for what we've done. But no, Big Up MCD over here is saying that a young black man his freedom is on the line. I respond with, he got his freedom though. He got bailed out. None of this would have happened if he didn't decide to damn near ended someone's life. Calm down with the racist word or else define it. Nobody likes to define words. Nobody understands how to use a dictionary. In 2025, people have altered the definition of every single word out there to fit narratives that they want. And we cannot continue to have this, because then what is the point of conversation if you're going to change the definition of a word when it fits what you want to so desperately want me to accept? And when I'm telling you that I don't want to accept that because I know that's not the definition of whatever buzzword you want to use, you get upset and further throw out more buzzwords rather than trying to understand that the media is controlling you, other people are controlling you, the stuff that you consume are controlling you, because racist is actually like really heavy and it's really rooted in history. But all of a sudden, if we say certain words, you want to call somebody and label somebody a racist or racism rather than trying to be like, oh my God, this person is doing all of these horrible acts to one person that is of a different skin color to them, and their acts are not justifiable. And when I say acts, as in like actions, someone has to be doing an action to somebody that is horrific. If someone is assaulting another person and continues to assault them on like a weekly basis every time that they see them, and they bully them and they assault them, that you can say that person is racist towards that other person because of the actions. That was happening so many years ago. The actions to scare people, to get them to not talk anymore. The actions to get them to do as they want them to do, and they become sheep and they become instilled with fear. That is way more powerful than just saying a bunch of words that you could just let it roll off your shoulder because you really don't know this person. This person doesn't know you, and they're not going to take the time out of their day to know you as a human being. However, when you judge somebody by the content of their character, you know who they are. The content of their character does not mean the words that they say, because everybody says words. Everyone says what they think, how they feel, and then they say facts, and then they say opinions. But unless they act upon these words, you judge them by the content of their character, and that is way more powerful than me saying that the sun doesn't give me energy. You know what I mean? Now, Big Up MCD comes in with, no, none of it would have happened if the victim didn't attack him earlier, you racist. Again, with that R word, like, are you going to define it or not? You're definitely not going to define it. Well, I defined it for everyone to hear it. He follows up with a question. Don't you have a culture you can focus on? This is where this whole conversation started. Did you guys enjoy that preview? If so, head over to patreon.com/Marie Shadows. We keep the conversation going over at patreon.com/Marie Shadows with the following topics: cultural identity in America, Americanization and heritage, cultural policing on social media, capitalism and historical context, media and double standards, content creation and monetization, civil conversations and unity, and freedom as an American people. And if that resonates with you, again, patreon.com/Marie Shadows. You can definitely interact with all of the posts and listen to all of the Discord notes, volumes 1 through 7, for free and also for paid. And I am currently running a discount at 50% off your first month now until October 11th at 9 p.m. You get 50% off the first month with code DNP001. So head over to patreon.com/Marie Shadows if you want to continue this conversation. Thank you for also supporting Marie Shadows and all of the content creation that I do. And thank you for supporting the second channel right here on YouTube. If you happen to grab a membership, thank you as well. I'll see you all in chat.